Related to him? No. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We have the agenda in front of us. Just to let everyone know, Glenn Kester sends his regrets. He's out seating this morning. And with the weather forecast, totally understand. I didn't hear that. So we have the agenda before us. We're looking for an adoption of the agenda.
I'll move approval of the agenda.
Motion to adopt the agenda. All in favor? Carried. Just to note, the meetings may be recorded and posted on the Wheatland County website or social media. Looking for adoption of minutes for April 9th, 2019.
So moved. Ben.
Ben moved. All in favor? Carried. We'll move on to development permit applications. Looking for file number DP 2019-003 for a cannabis production facilities. Whenever you're ready.
Good morning. So this application is for a 71,141 square foot cannabis production facility at Legal Plan 101-1307, Block 3, Lot 5 in the north of 72426. It's the recommendation of staff that Municipal Planning Commission choose option 1 to approve DP 2019-003 for a cannabis production facility, subject to conditions noted in Appendix A of the Development Permit Report, which I will outline for you. So this application is 7.5 miles west of Strathmore in the Origin Business Park. It's on a 5-acre parcel zoned industrial general. As I mentioned, the proposal is for a 71,000 square foot medical cannabis cultivation facility, which will be growing, harvesting, and processing cannabis year-round. The facility will produce products inclusive of dried cannabis flower, oil, extract, tinctures, capsules, and topical creams. Processes will include cloning plants, vegetating and flowering plants, drying plants, oil extraction, product testing, trimming, packaging, sanitation, and storage. The processing will occur during the hours of 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The facility is expecting to employ about 44 staff at full capacity, with 34 on site at any given time. The standard daytime working hours would be 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. Waste disposal plan will include a process to extract the water from the plant biomass and recirculate it into the water filtration system, leaving only plant fiber. All of that plant fiber will be shipped to a plastic compounding manufacturer to create hemp bioplastic packaging. Typical waste from the office and bathrooms will be placed in a bin, and pickup schedule will be arranged with a local waste disposal company. No sales will be conducted on site, and all product will be shipped directly to medical patients via Purolator and Canada Post, with international export to be added in the future. Cannabis products will be securely loaded from inside the secured loading bay, and all deliveries to the site will follow the same security protocol and unload in the secure loading bay. The site will comply with all the security measures set out in the Cannabis Act regulations. The perimeter of the site will be enclosed with a chain link fence equipped with vibration cable sensors and HD CCTV video surveillance 24/7. 2 security staff will be on site in 8-hour shifts at any given time, 24/7. All doors will have scan card access panels, and will be equipped with alarms. All product will be meticulously monitored, and the site will be locked down in the event of any loss or theft detected as per federal regulations. Video surveillance will be kept for at least 1 year, and security documents will be kept for 2 years. Odor mitigation will be addressed using proper ventilation, HEPA, carbon, and hydroxyl filtering technologies. Filter will be changed on a regular basis to ensure minimal odors occur as per federal regulations. No operations within the facility create substantial noise, therefore noise mitigation measures will not be necessary. The applicant is intending on trucking and utilizing 30,000 liters of water per day as the main source of water for the facility. The water source is not required to be potable, as there will be a water purification system on site. They're anticipating 1 to 2 truckloads of water will be trucked to the site daily, depending on the type of truck. The water will come from a variety of sources, including ponds, rivers, ditches within Wheatland and Rockview County, where drainage is required. And the water will also come from the City of Calgary water supply. Any amendments to this water supply plan will be considered an amendment to this application and will need to be approved by the Development Authority. Additionally, there will be several measures of recapturing the existing wastewater, inclusive of recirculating the condensate water from the dehumidifiers, recapturing the water from the plant biomass, as well as filtering the runoff water from irrigation. The storm pond, which is located on site, will also be used as fire suppression pond and will be equipped with a low-level sensor which will send an alarm as the pond is approaching the required volume for fire protection. In the event of a low-level alarm, additional water will be trucked to the site to ensure the pond maintains above the required fire protection volume as indicated by the engineers. In a review of the legislation requirements, this application is located within the CMRB area, but it does not meet the criteria for necessitating a CMRB review. There's the criteria there. The Municipal Development Plan, Policy 3.7 for commercial and industrial development objectives places an emphasis on locating commercial industrial properties within certain designated areas of the county, such as the West Highway 1 Area Structure Plan, or in close proximity to hamlets. This application is located within the West Highway 1 Area Structure Plan area, which has been dedicated to accommodate industrial general uses. The MDP also states that the county shall consider transportation access as a major component of commercial and industrial development applications in order to properly manage vehicle traffic from employment, patronage, and the shipment of goods and services. The subject parcel is located adjacent to Highway 1, which is a major corridor, providing linkages to other provincial highways and access to communities in the east and west areas of the county. The West Highway 1 Area Structure Plan is identified as a key industrial corridor along Highway 1 within Wheatland County. Section 2.2 objectives of the WASP is to accommodate development opportunities in Wheatland County for light to medium industrial and compatible commercial land uses. This application complies with the policies of the WASP and is compatible with the other industrial general uses already located within the ASP area. The land use bylaw has stipulated that the only area where a cannabis production facility may be located is within the West Highway 1 Area Structure Plan. Land use bylaw. This application was submitted prior to the recent land use bylaw amendment for cannabis production facilities and was already undergoing extensive review by engineers and internal staff at the time of the amendment approval. So as such, it was processed under the LUB requirements in place prior to the amendment. However, it does comply with all the provisions of the land use bylaw both prior to and after the amendment was approved. This application was also processed as a discretionary use because it was processed under the previous version of the land use bylaw. Any future applications for this type of facility or any amendments to this application will be processed as permitted uses as per the recent amendment. They will still be subject to the same scrutiny and review process as this application went through. So this is the old bylaw that we measured the application against initially. And then this was after the amendment where it was, we reviewed it against all of these requirements as well. And it met all requirements from both versions. It was circulated to Alberta Environment and Parks. We didn't get any response from them. RCMP did not respond. Rocky View County said that the proposed cannabis production facility is located in the IG district where it is a discretionary use and in a location approximately 1,200 meters from the nearest dwelling in Rocky View County. The Rocky View County land use bylaw stipulates that a cannabis facility must be located at least 75 meters from a residential site, and it is noted that access will be provided from the provincial road network, Highway 1 via Range Road 271, which is in Wheatland County, and does not appear to have an impact to the Rockview County road system. Therefore, Rockview County has no comments or concerns. Alberta Health Services had several comments, which I've summarized. Water wells to be contained within the proposed property boundaries. HS recommends that the applicant confirms there is an adequate water supply available for the proposed use. And they would also support connection to an Alberta Environment and Parks approved municipal or regional drinking water or wastewater system. They recommended that the application be referred to Alberta Environment, which it was. Septic tank and field to be completely contained within the proposed property boundaries. Consideration should be given to the types and volumes of chemicals and product that will be stored on site. Method and location of chemical or other storage must ensure there will be no impacts on groundwater or surface water. And a waste management plan be proposed for the operations. Operations plans should be designed including emergency response, odors, noise, and include mitigation strategies. Further, evidence of complaints or other issues of public health with Alberta Health Services wishes to be notified. Health Canada did not have a comment because they said that they cannot pre-qualify a site as they look at a variety of information to determine whether or not it may pose a risk to public safety and security. We had an internal circulation to all departments. There was a lot of discussion between all of our departments in consultation with the applicants and with SEMA, our engineers. So the emergency response plan and landscape plan have been approved by county staff. County staff also worked in consultation with SEMA to review the following: the site servicing plan, site grading plan, stormwater management plan, erosion sediment control plan, site lighting plan, traffic projections, water usage letter of intent. And the applicant has addressed all of the concerns which were raised and completed the required amendments. A neighbor circulation was performed within 1 mile. We had one written email in opposition, and the applicant, and I've provided as Appendix I, yes, in your package. But the applicant had responded regarding the concerns about odor by providing additional information, which I had sent to the person that provided the letter of objection. So they had said that the odor technology they're using is far superior than the Aurora facility in Leduc. Not to mention they are 11 times larger than this facility, and they are also a hybrid greenhouse and not an indoor facility, meaning they will be producing far more odor than our controlled facility. We are also implementing hydroxyl odor cleaning technology, which has been studied by Dr. Igor Kovalchuk at the University of Lethbridge on cannabis and is the most advanced air cleaning technology available. Canopy Growth in Ontario is one of the first to implement this technology due to odor issues in their surrounding area, which has now been mitigated in all of their facilities. We are going over and above to ensure there will be next to no odors being produced, and there shouldn't be any concern from our facility. And I also responded to this person that had the objection because they had misinterpreted the West Highway 1 area structure plan and thought that there was going to be an area designated for a residential subdivision and school. So I advised them no, that it's actually just for industrial development, and that this is the only area where we are allowing applications for cannabis facilities. So, Municipal Planning Commission has 3 options to consider. That they approve DP 2019-003 for a cannabis production facility subject to conditions noted in Appendix A of the Development Permit Report, and that with the stated conditions of approval, the Development Authority has determined that the proposed facility complies with the county's land use bylaw rules and regulations. Option 2 is to refuse the application with reasons given, and option 3 to provide an alternative recommendation of MPC's choosing. As I mentioned, staff are recommending option 1 to approve DP 2019-003 based on the following. The proposed application aligns with MDP Section 3.7. The application aligns with both the prior and current versions of the land use bylaw with regards to cannabis production facility and is located in the area prescribed for such uses. The application aligns with Section 2.2 of the West Highway 1 Area Structure Plan. Technical reports supplied in support of the application have been reviewed by engineers and county staff and are deemed to be appropriate. Having the development permit in place requires the business to operate in accordance with the permit conditions, the submitted application, letter of intent, water usage, letter of intent, development agreement, and other approved plans and drawings. The conditions we are proposing: the development permit is issued for the purpose of a medical cannabis production facility and offices defined as a cannabis production facility. No variances have been granted. Development shall proceed according to IG district requirements. No permanent development on or over any utility right-of-way or easement. Business to remain consistent with submitted application, general letter of intent, and all approved plans and procedures which form the application have been deemed to be appropriate. Business to remain consistent with the water usage letter of intent dated April 2nd, 2019. Any change in water supply will be considered an amendment to this permit and will require the approval of the development authority. Applicant to comply with the approved construction emergency response plan during the construction period. Prior to operation of the facility, applicant to submit an emergency response plan for the operational phase of the development. Prior to any construction occurring, a construction management plan to be submitted and approved by Wheatland County. Landowner to enter into a DA for landscaping with Wheatland County, which will be registered by caveat against the title. Securities to be provided in the amount of 125%. Landowner to enter into a deferred services agreement for water and wastewater within Wheatland County, which will be registered by caveat against the title. Offsite levies to be provided in the amount of $92.84 per acre prior to any construction occurring. The new approach configuration as depicted on the site plan to be approved and developed to county standards. Applicant to provide a copy of the approved license for the facility as issued by Health Canada prior to operation. So there is the location plan west of Strathmore in the Origin Industrial Park. This is the lot they're proposing. The nearest residence, this residence 530 meters, this one 1,050, and this one 1,000, which meets the land use bylaw requirements. Their site plan, so parking, this is the building, and this is the storm/fire suppression pond back here. CMRB, you can see that it's located within there. Located within the West Highway 1 Area Structure Plan. Some renderings of the proposed building. This was the circulation area, all the areas in orange. And that was the letter in opposition. And that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions, concerns for MPC?
If there's no questions, I will move the MPC choose option 1 to approve DP 2019-038. Oh, sorry, I'm reading the next one. That's my fault. DP 003 for cannabis production facility, subject to the conditions noted in Appendix A.
Thank you. Any discussions on the motion? No concerns? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? Carried. We'll move on to file number DP 2019-038 for a accessory dwelling accessory.
The purpose of this proposal is to present a dwelling accessory application for a 1,080 square foot residential suite as an addition to the existing shop. The location is Plan 031-1890, Block 1, Lot 1, within the Northeast 2624-26. It is the recommendation of staff that MPC choose option 1 to approve DP 2019-38, a dwelling accessory, subject to conditions noted in Appendix A of the report, which I will read for you. So the dwelling accessory is proposed for a location which is 3.1 miles northwest of Strathmore. It's a 2.99 acre country residential parcel. The country residential parcel has a 2,280 square foot modular dwelling and an 1,155 square foot shop currently on site. The applicants are proposing to construct a 1,080 square foot residential suite as an addition to the existing shop, with the walls, roof, and windows of the addition to be finished in the same manner as the shop currently is. The dwelling accessory will share a water well with the primary residence. However, a separate septic system will be installed for the new residence. The proposal meets all of the requirements of the land use bylaw. No variances have been requested. The application is located within the CMRB area. However, it does not meet the criteria for necessitating a review. The MDP, this aligns with section 3.6.1 as it ensures residential developments are planned for the long term and minimize cumulative impacts to the land, as well ensuring that Wheatland residents have access to a range of affordable housing types and a diversity of housing choices to accommodate all stages of life. The proposal falls outside of any ASP area. Land use bylaw requirements. The proposal has a land use designation of country residential, and this application meets all mandatory requirements of the dwelling accessory section. The additional considerations section indicates a preference for a dwelling accessory which is similar in architectural design, character, and appearance to the dwelling primary. This building is not similar to the primary dwelling currently on site. However, it will be an addition to the existing shop, and the finishes will mimic those of the shop. So there it is, a discretionary use. Our definitions, so the dwelling primary is a dwelling modular, which is allowed as the primary dwelling. The dwelling accessory, it says that it shall be located within a building other than the primary dwelling or as a detached standalone unit. For example, a dwelling accessory may be built on top of an accessory building or garage. This one is a side, not on top, but it meets the same intent. And then this is the clause that is an additional consideration. So it is not similar to the principal dwelling, but it is blending right into the shop. So. And then we've got the circulation, which was not performed to any agencies. Internal file review did not show any concerns. To adjacent neighbors, there was no concerns. Staff are proposing the following three options: that MPC approve DP 2019-38, and that with the stated conditions of approval, the Development Authority has determined that the dwelling accessory complies with the county's land use bylaw, that MPC refuse the application with reasons, that MPC provide an alternative recommendation of MPC's choosing. Staff are recommending option 1 to approve this application based on the following. The proposed dwelling aligns with 3.6.1 of the MDP. The application aligns with the prescribed uses of the country residential district and all mandatory provisions of the land use bylaw. Constructing the dwelling as an addition to the existing accessory building minimizes the visual impact of a second residence on the property. The proposed dwelling accessory fits within the context of the area, which is primarily residential and agricultural in nature. Proposed conditions: this DP is issued for the purpose of constructing a second residence as an addition to an existing accessory building defined as a dwelling accessory. No variances have been granted. Development shall proceed according to country residential requirements. No permanent development on or over any utility right-of-way or easement, and applicant to assure approach is developed to county standards prior to construction. Location plan: northwest of Strathmore. There is the existing shop. There's the primary residence. That's just an overall view of the area, showing it's agricultural and residential. This is where they're proposing to put the addition on the shop. There it is within the CMRB area, outside of any area structure plans. This was our circulation area. That is the primary residence. That is the existing shop with the addition to go on this end over here. And that's the two of them on the property. That's everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions from MPC?
There are no questions. I'll move that MPC choose option 1 to approve DP 2019-038, dwelling accessory with conditions noted in Appendix A.
Thank you. Any questions on the motions from Mr. Reichert? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? It's carried. We'll move on to file number DP 2019-047 for a child care facility. Whenever you're ready.
Good morning. We have development permit 2019-047. The purpose of the application is for a child care facility. Located at Plan 4610 AV Block 8, Lot 1 through 32 in the hamlet of Carsland. It is the recommendation that the Municipal Planning Commission choose option 1 to approve development permit 2019-047 for a child care facility, subject to conditions noted in Appendix A of the development permit report. So this is located at the Carsland School. So some details of the proposal. The Friends of the Carsland Society are proposing to operate a before and after school childcare program in the Carsland School. So I did receive a notice from the Golden Hills School Division yesterday that instead of the Friends of Carsland Society, it is now going to be the Carsland Busy Bee Preschool Association and not the Friends of Carsland Society, who would like to operate the child care program through the Carsland School. So the program would accommodate children from the ages of kindergarten to grade 6 from the hours of 6:15 to 8:15 a.m. and then from 3:15 p.m. to 6:15 p.m. Monday to Friday, with the exception of days where the school is closed or on professional development days. And the program would run on the Golden Hills School Division designated instructional days. The program would operate out of a classroom in the library area of the school and would have access to the school's gym and also the outdoor Division I playground. So instead of the Friends of Carsland Society, it would be the Busy Bee Preschool Association, and they are prepared to become a licensed facility and will follow the provincial regulations regarding the ratio of children versus staff. And according to the application, no transportation will be provided. It will all be drop-off of students from the parents. So relevant legislation, the municipal development plan, the guiding principles encourages growth in existing communities. The regional growth management strategy, Carsland is considered one of the top growth communities in Wheatland County. The reason for this is because we have regional water, wastewater, and established businesses and a school within that community. The land use bylaw under community service district. The purpose is, of course, to provide for cultural, educational, and institutional land uses within the county, and childcare facility is a discretionary use within that district. We did external circulation to Alberta Health Services, and they had a number of comments. They want to do an inspection and approval by Alberta Health Services before any final operation. And I did pass these comments on to Golden Hills School Division. One of their final ones was that if any evidence of contamination or issues of public health or concerns are identified at any phase of development, Alberta Health Services wishes to be notified. So this will be up to the Golden Hills School Division to ensure that these are all taken care of through their regulations. The Carsland School principal did provide a letter of support, and that is under Appendix E. Internal circulation was done, and the deputy fire chief would like to do a fire safety inspection prior to the opening of the childcare facility. And neighborhood circulation was done, and no responses were received. So staff proposed 3 options for the Municipal Planning Commission, and the Municipal Planning Commission could approve development permit 2019-047 for a child care facility subject to conditions noted in Appendix A of the development permit report, based on the following: that the development authority has determined that the proposed child care facility complies with the county's land use bylaw rules and regulations, to refuse the application with reasons given, or provide an alternative recommendation of the Municipal Planning Commission's choosing. It's the recommendation that the Municipal Planning Commission choose option 1, to approve development permit 2019-047, a child care facility subject to conditions noted in Appendix A, that the proposed application aligns with the prescribed uses of the community service district, with the following conditions. This development permit is issued solely for the purpose of a child care facility, defined as a child care facility. No variances have been granted. Development shall proceed according to community service district and must follow all provisions of the land use bylaw. Business is to remain consistent with the application details and letter of intent, and the development shall meet all provincial and federal legislation. Of course, here is a map of the hamlet of Carsland. Here is the Carsland School. This is a map of the internal classrooms of the school. Here is the library, and this is a portion of the library where the childcare facility will take place, if approved, of course. And this is the circulation map. It's hard to see here, but it's all in green right here. Within a hamlet, we don't do a 1 mile circulation. We just do adjacents. So it's not the whole hamlet. It's just the adjacents to the proposed parcel. And then this is the letter from the principal of the Carsland School. And that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Yeah, through the chair, I'm not opposed to it, just a question to staff of why this is coming to us. I thought that was under Golden Hills mandate to do that kind of stuff anyways, wasn't it? Under the School Act?
Through the chair, because it's a child care facility, it's not through Golden Hills School Division, because it's providing child care. It's not part of the school's program. It's actual child care. It's not part of their
Mandate?
yeah, it's not part of their program. They're not teaching anything, they're providing childcare.
Doesn't make sense, but
I have a similar question. Who's the applicant then? Is it the Busy Bee or is it the school?
So in the application, the registered owners are Golden Hill School Division. The applicant was the Busy Bee Preschool Association as of yesterday. However, they never gave me any contact information. I was always dealing with the Golden Hill School Division. So it is the Golden Hill School Division that I've been dealing with.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to move that the MPC choose option 1 to approve DP 2019-047 for childcare facilities subject to conditions in Appendix A.
Any questions on the motion? All in favor? Carried. We'll move forward to a subdivision applications. We're looking at file number SD 2018-017, subdivide one plus or minus 21.2 acre parcel from the titled area. Whenever you're ready.
Thank you. So through the chair, this is for SD 2018-017. It is to subdivide a 21.2 acre parcel from the titled land. So, you know, everyone hears me now. You can't ignore me. So it's located on the northwest to 2325, adjacent to Highway 817 and approximately 8 kilometers southwest of the hamlet of Jamaica. Recommendation from staff is that MPC choose option 1 to approve SD 2018-017 with the conditions noted in Appendix A of the planning report. So the intent of the application is to subdivide out the 21 acres, which is currently cultivated and zoned agricultural general. It is separated from the WID canal from the remnant parcel, and no new development is proposed for the property. So I'm just going to go down to the site map here, just to provide some context. So because it's along Highway 817, it is under the jurisdiction of Alberta Transportation. And as noted in the circulation comments, Alberta Transportation did ask for a 30-meter service road right-of-way to be registered through their department. So that has been conditioned on there. And looking at Schedule A, this is approximately where that area is intended to be registered. It's not going to be developed into a road at this time, but the intent is that for the future, if they ever need to use it or develop out Highway 817, that registration would then be on title. And they recommended that it's only for the 21 acres here. They did not ask for the remnant parcel to be included in that. With that being said, Alberta Transportation did also state that no new access is permitted on Highway 817. As a result, the current accesses off of 817 for the remnant parcel and the proposed are being used. We determined with the applicant and the adjacent landowner that splitting the current access between the two of them would provide sufficient access using the existing one there at the top. And the access that's currently being used for the remnant parcel is just down here, and it is on title as an agreement and caveat that there is shared access between the northwest and the southwest parcel here. So staff have no further requirements for conditions to address that access. Aside from that, there were no other objections to the application or other concerns brought forward from external circulation. As previously mentioned, the intent is just to separate this out. No development was proposed or indicated on the letter of intent. Therefore, it's maintaining its agricultural general designation, as is the remnant parcel, which does extend out to this green area here. And staff did want to note that because it is separated from this side because of the WID canal, no further subdivision would be possible just because of the issues for access, gaining legal physical as per the subdivision regulations. So this would most likely be the last one unless something changes. With that being said, the conditions noted on here are reflective of the comments provided by Alberta Transportation, as well as the requirements from Wheatland County. So condition 2 here was reviewed by Alberta Transportation, and they did note just to include the website where they can get access to all the agreements and caveats, but it will be on the applicant to go and register that with Alberta Transportation. In addition, there's also municipal reserve applied. And for 21 acres, there's an approximate number given based off of the appraisal report that was submitted on behalf of the application. And because it is an Alberta Transportation highway, we don't ask for a road acquisition or backsloping agreement because it's not a municipal road. Therefore, all we are asking is for a deferred services agreement for water and wastewater if and when it comes through that area that they would be required to connect. So that is everything for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions? We have.
I'm ready.
We have two.
No, it's just gonna be the same comments, so you guys can rest.
You're allowed to speak. Is that all it takes?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, no, I'll just say my usual comments. There on this quarter section, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 lots. Each one can have houses on it. We'll have 10 houses on a half a mile.
And I'll disagree with Councillor Wilson in the fact that, number one, it isn't our road. And the only services we're going to be providing is, we're not going to be providing garbage maybe. So anyways, with that said, I will move that MPC approve subdivision application SD 2018-017 with the conditions noted in Appendix A.
Thank you, Mr. Eichert. Motion's on the floor. Any questions? Comments? All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. We will move on to file number SD 2019-001, subdivide 1 plus or minus 1.28 acre parcel from titled area. Whenever you're ready.
Thank you. So this is for a 1.28 acre parcel with the intent of it being used as a cemetery. It was previously redesignated to community services as per our land use bylaw, and the intent is to service the Midwest Hatarian Brethren. It's located on the southeast 162621, adjacent to Township Road 262, and approximately 10 kilometers southeast of the hamlet of Rosebud. Staff's recommendation originally was to recommend approval with the conditions noted. However, since the submission of this report and further conversations with Alberta Health Services, staff is recommending that option 3 be considered by MPC. At this point in time, Alberta Health Services has requested, as per the comments, that a number of reports are required to determine the high water table and as well as a potential for setback from a water body. So I'll go into more detail on that, but right now staff has changed their recommendation to option 3, which is to defer the subdivision application. We don't want to refuse it. We want to defer it until we get more information. With that being said, as previously mentioned, this is to service the Midwest Hatarian Brethren as a cemetery. The remnant parcel is currently zoned as direct control 15, again, for the purposes of the Midwest colony. And the cemetery is intended to only be used by the colony residents and families. The colony will require final approval from the province through Service Alberta, and this would be required based on the decision by MPC when that occurs. So I'm just going to go down to the comments provided by Alberta Health Services, which is based around my recommendation for option 3. So the second point here are, points number 1 and 2, Alberta Health Services recommends that the cemetery boundary be a minimum of 30 meters from the 100-year high water perimeter of the identified water body. Due to the groundwater table being unknown, Alberta Health Services recommends that an assessment be undertaken by a qualified expert to confirm that there is no high groundwater within 1 meter of the proposed grave depth. So with that being said, my recent conversation with Alberta Health Services in Strathmore was that the studies are being done currently, but because it could potentially impact the location and the size of the parcel, staff doesn't want to move forward with a recommendation for approval in the case that it does change it. We want to come forward to MPC with the most current version of the subdivision in case it does change. So again, staff is recommending option 3. That it be deferred until further notice and that more information is provided and to provide a more up-to-date application. So with that being said, option 1 is to approve the application with the conditions noted in Appendix A. Option 2 is to approve the refuse the application. And option 3 being recommended is to defer and subdivision SD 2019-001. So I'm just going to go down to the map here. So it looks like the water, again, we don't have the mapping just because it hasn't been provided yet, but it would most likely impact the primary area used for the grave sites here. And it's already set back about 30 meters for protection of the grave sites from the road allowance, which was previously upgraded due to it being out of line with the existing road allowance. So we just want to make sure that if this changes, we can accommodate that with a new proposal brought forth to MPC. And I'm just going to put up this. So with that being said, that's all for me. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you. Questions?
So is the colonies aware of the deferral? And I'll move the deferral of the 2019-001 as per staff's recommendation.
Thanks. Any discussion on the motion? The one thing about the way that's subdivided, is there a way to, like, I don't like it when it's subdivided that way, with the little road going into it. Yeah, but it shouldn't be squared off to the property. I think we make everybody else do that usually. Yeah, just something.
Through the chair, so we don't have any provisions as to how the parcel should look. Right now, the reason they have the access at that location is because there's already an existing approach that is used by this building as well, the school. So they wanted to maintain it. The decision to go up and over here, I believe it sounds like they already have some sort of garden area prepared. No one has been buried yet, but they have prepared an area with the intent for future use. So I think that's why. But again, if it does have to move, they have just considered it and they have been notified by Alberta Health Services. They're working with Service Alberta as well. And I've also informed them of what my recommendation was today.
So do all colonies, just a question for myself, do all colonies have, well, I know they have cemeteries, but are they all approved for subdivisions?
Through the chair, so this is, as Councillor Wilson stated, this is one of our newest colonies. So looking at all the other ones, they do currently have subdivided out and zoned parcels for cemetery use. They all have approaches to them because apparently that's required by the province. And so some of them go straight across the property, but they access it differently. But yes, they all look fairly similar and they all have them. Whether they were approved by us in the past, I can't recall. I'd have to look in the land file. Yeah. For cemeteries? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the only one that I've ever worked on. So before that, yeah. Through the chair, yes. So we had the redesignation for this, and then this is the subdivision that would potentially follow it. But personally, this is the only one that I've ever worked on, so it's all very new to me, learning through the process.
Anybody can apply for one.
Okay. So there's a motion on the floor to defer from Mr. Armstrong. Call the question. All in favor? That's carried. We'll move on to subdivision 2019-004, subdivide 1 plus or minus 29 acre parcel from title area with remnant lands consolidated back into Northeast 142324 west of the 4th. Whenever you're ready.
Thank you. So this is for a subdivision and consolidation of lands of a 29 acre parcel as the resultant title. It's in the Northeast 142324, Lot 1, Block 2, Plan 1610633, adjacent to Range Road 241 and approximately 3.5 kilometers northeast of the hamlet of Jamaica. Staff is recommending that MPC choose option 1 to approve the revised version for a 29 acre subdivision application with the conditions noted in Appendix A of the planning report. So a bit of background on this application. On January 15th, 2015, MPC at the time conditionally approved a subdivision to create an 86 acre parcel out of the Northeast 142324. The landowner has now come back and is wanting to reduce the size of the original 86 acre to 29 acres with the remnant consolidated back into the Northeast quarter. Originally, the applicant and landowner had a 31 acre proposed parcel. However, prior to the report being prepared, they changed the property boundaries, which will remove just over 1 acre of land from the originally proposed boundary change. This does not impact setbacks or functions of the lands, and the original and proposed boundaries are shown on the mapping of this report. The reason being is that they have an irrigation system on the property, and the person who's intending to purchase the land recommended that the property boundary be adjusted to accommodate that irrigation pivot. The parcel is currently a mix of agricultural lands and residential development. 2 dwellings currently exist on the 86 acre parcel. This is why the application was larger, as the MDP only allows for 2 dwellings on a parcel 80 acres in size and over, and districted as agricultural general. Moving forward, the second dwelling would be permitted through a new development permit as a dwelling accessory to the primary dwelling, which is a permitted use in the agricultural general district. Previously, at the time in 2015, there was no second permitted dwelling on a parcel under 80 acres in size. However, with the land use bylaw changes, this is now possible. So I'm just going to go down to the images here and showing what's been proposed. So the original application shows the area outlined in red, and the newly proposed one, which is approximately 29 acres or so, is shown in blue here. And again, it's to accommodate the pivot and to allow for a bit more of a streamlined pivot rotation on the quarter. In addition, as mentioned, there is 2 dwellings on the parcel currently, so they would be requested through conditions to apply for a development permit to accommodate that second dwelling. Other than that, there is no future development proposed or changes to the lands. And going up to the conditions here, because the previous application had a number of the conditions that we typically have covered, we haven't asked for a number of them, including road acquisition, deferred services, and backsloping, as those are already on title. So we have requested that the final plan of survey be provided, taxes be paid up to date, that a development permit for the second dwelling be provided and applied for as a dwelling accessory, and that the remnant parcel have a deferred reserve caveat for future municipal reserve. There are 3 options for MPC's consideration. Option 1 is to approve SD 2019-004 with the revised 29 acre parcel with the conditions noted in Appendix A. Option 2 is to refuse SD 2019-004, or option 3 is to provide your own recommendation for this application. Staff is recommending approval as it has sufficient access from Range Road 241. It does not further fragment agricultural lands, rather it consolidates lands back into the quarter section, aligns with Section 3.1 of the NDP, objectives of the RGMS, SSRP, and the agricultural district of the land use bylaw. Thank you.
Thanks again. Any questions?
I'll move that MPC approve the revised version for a plus or minus 29 acre subdivision application, SD 2019-004, with the conditions noted in Appendix A of the planning report.
Thank you very much. Any questions on the motion? Call the question. All in favor? Carried. Move on to 2019-005, subdivide 1 plus or minus 10.28 acre parcel from titled area. Whenever you're ready.
So, this is application SD 2019-005, the purpose of which is to subdivide 1 plus or minus 10.28 acre parcel from the titled land northeast of 342225. The subject property is accessed from Range Road 252 and is approximately 7.2 kilometers southwest of Nameka. I just have the location plan up there for you guys to see. You can see Nameka over here, Siksika, and then the parent parcel. And then I'll just scooch down. And then this is the proposed subdivision. So the subdivision contains the existing farmstead, water well, and septic field. The boundaries generally follow the existing yard, and as the applicant intends to continue to use the proposed parcel for agricultural use, and the parcel is greater than 5 acres, it was not deemed necessary to redesignate. The proposed subdivision generally aligns with the South Saskatchewan Regional Plan, the Regional Growth Management Strategy, and the Municipal Development Plan. These plans discourage agricultural fragmentation. However, they also recognize that smaller parcels contribute to the diversification of the overall agricultural economy. As the proposed lot lines follow the farmstead's established yard, the WID canal and tree line, and the applicant intends to continue using the parcel for agricultural purposes, the impact of fragmentation is minimal. The proposed and remainder parcel have existing accesses that will need to be reviewed by Wheatland County's Transportation Department to ensure they meet county specifications. If approved, the recommended amount of cash in lieu for the municipal reserve is approximately $6,128. The final amount will be determined based on the final plan of survey submitted to the county. And then circulation was completed to all landowners within 1 mile of the subject lands. No comments were received. The only concern raised by the development officer was that there appeared to be 2 dwellings on the property. The landowner was contacted and they stated the trailer was removed the summer of 2018 and a site visit confirmed this. So and there's a circulation area. The proposed conditions for this subdivision are the usual ones that we recommend for survey, so that the taxes are paid, that they pay municipal reserve, that the approaches are built to county specs, and that the variety of caveats are registered with the subdivision. There are 2 options for our MPC to consider. I apologize. Option 1 is that subdivision application 2019-005 be approved with the conditions noted in Appendix A, and option 2 is that SD 2018-005 be refused. Staff is recommending option 1 for approval. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Very much. Any questions, comments, concerns?
I'll move that subdivision application SD 2019-005 with the conditions noted in Appendix A be approved.
Much. There's a motion on the floor. Any questions about the motion? None. Call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. We will move on to file number SD 2019-006, subdivide 1 plus or minus 10.686 acre parcel from the titled area. Whenever you're ready.
Thank you. So this is following a redesignation from Industrial General with the intent for a future development permit application of RV storage, which is currently being used on the property. It's Southwest 122424, adjacent to Range Road 241, and 1 kilometer south of Highway 1. It is also just 3.7 kilometers southeast of the county office. Staff is recommending that MPC choose option 1 to approve subdivision application SD 2019-006 with the conditions noted in Appendix A of the planning report. So just a bit of background, as previously mentioned, it was rezoned to Industrial General to accommodate the existing recreational vehicle storage business and use. It was previously approved by Council on February 5th, 2019, with the remainder of the lands being agricultural general. The RV storage was originally permitted as a secondary use business through a prior development permit under the previous land use bylaw. Since our newest land use bylaw was approved, the secondary use business was no longer included. Instead, HPB types 1, 2, and 3 were brought in to replace it. The RV storage was then included as a use in industrial general, and because it is a pre-existing use, it would fit under the IG district, and with council's previous approval, it was granted to be a continued use on that site. Therefore, if subdivision is approved by MPC, a development permit to bring the RV storage business into compliance with the current land use bylaw would be required to go to MPC for a final decision. With that being said, there are two options for MPC to consider. Option 1 is that SD 2019-006 be approved with the conditions noted in Appendix A. Option 2 be that SD 2019-006 be refused, with of course the option for option 3 to provide your own recommendation. Staff recommends option 1, as council has granted redesignation to industrial general for the lands proposed for subdivision, which does support and would allow for the continued use of the RV storage business with an appropriate DP applied for afterwards. The proposed subdivision does not remove agricultural lands currently in production, reducing fragmentation and conversion. The existing and future uses of the land proposed align with the industrial general district of the land use bylaw. Previous conditions on the original DP for the RV storage for berming, fencing, and screening, as well as dust control, have been maintained and deemed suitable until a new permit is applied and issued. The existing use and proposed subdivision is largely in compliance with the intents, goals, and objectives of the RGMS and SSRP for economic development. So I'm just going to go down to the site plan here for context. And just as a note, Alberta Transportation did provide some comments, and they just stated basically that with the Highway 1 diversion, it may impact access in the future. Of course, this is long-term, but they did make note of that in their comments. So we have the area highlighted in red here. There is currently a dwelling on site. However, the landowner currently has stated that that would be converted into a office space, as a dwelling is not a permitted use in IG, so they would be required to apply for that as well. And then, of course, they would apply for the RV storage site use, which would then come back to MPC. And as mentioned, the remnant lands here would remain agricultural general, and there's already 2 existing country residential parcels out here. The conditions that I've placed on here include a plan of survey, as well as municipal reserve placed on the titled lands, and that the approaches are approved and inspected by Public Works. Because of previous applications on the lands, we didn't require anything further for the titled area. Thank you.
Thanks again. Any questions?
I have one question. In previous discussions regarding this file, and forgive me, I'm forgetting the term, but there was a different term used for the residents that I thought was permissible, where it could still be residential, but it was, you know what I'm talking about? No, it fit within industrial, I thought. I'll pull up the land use bylaw.
Through the chair, from what I can recall, in my previous report for redesignation, because dwelling, it would have been dwelling employee maybe?
Yeah, that's what I believe it was.
I think it's one of those two. We'd have to talk to them, but they would have to get a new permit for that dwelling, because right now it's just a dwelling, single detached.
Or it might have been security or something like that.
Yeah, we do have those uses in IG to accommodate those particular positions or functions on an industrial parcel, because those are typically ones that we've seen. But you are correct. There's a couple different options they have. They'll just have to clarify it with us at the DP stage.
Thanks.
I'll move that MPC approve subdivision application SD 2019-006 with the conditions noted in Appendix A of the planning report.
Thank you very much. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Anything anything else or looking for a motion to adjourn? Motion's on the floor to adjourn. All in favor? That's carried.